All right, let's move on. Let's talk about our lead today, and that is the launch of just the insane launch of Monster Hunter Wilds. First and foremost, have you guys played Monster Hunter at all?
Oh yeah, not the new one, but
No.
World I did.
Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts of World?
I liked it. It took a lot of getting used to for me because back when I was playing it or attempting to play it, I was I was a lot more like I would just give up on games. And then I went back to it after I started getting into Dark Souls and like having more patience with everything and enjoyed it a lot more. And I just haven't got it. I didn't play the beta or anything because I was just busy with other things and lifestyle changes. But when I get, I don't know, if it goes on sale, I'll probably pick it up just because that's where I'm at in my life. But I will play it eventually. It looks great. It looks great.
I played Monster Hunter several years ago, and it was fun. It's very, I described it to Blabs as questy, I guess. You're just kind of running around, and it was fine. It wasn't my type of game that I'd want to devote 100 hours into or whatever, right? But I know a lot of people do. As a matter of fact, millions of people do. As I don't know if you guys saw, but it had 1.3 million people playing it just a few hours ago. And, currently there's 865,000 people playing this game. This game has been a massive launch, number one bestseller on Steam right now. It is huge. This is a phenomenon, really, right? And this is a Capcom game, which Capcom is a Japanese company. And I think it is important to point out the idea that this is another Japanese company or Asian company or Eastern company or whatever that is releasing a game to massive success where Western companies are floundering right now. You saw the launch of Avowed, and no matter how they want to spend that, Avowed will never come close to 865,000 people playing it. I think it capped out at like 17,000. So there's just another example of the Western versus Eastern philosophy of game development, and a big win, I think, for Capcom in this situation with Monster Hunter Wilds. Huge. What's also interesting is there have been, when you're dealing with running around and, monsters and stuff, I have seen people talk about, the Venn diagram of games, the crossover of like Pokemon or Palworld. What was interesting about this was Palworld, the developer Pocket Pair, actually gave their employees a special holiday for the release of Monster Hunter Wilds, which so they could just like play the game. They have a non-working day at its offices where you can just come in and play. They just conveniently lined up with this, and I think that is a really interesting thought. First, Wicked, do you have any thoughts on Palworld saying, "Hey, we know this game everybody's looking forward to is coming out. We're just going to give you the day off"?
I mean, that's kind of, as someone who likes to play games, that's cool. Like, give me a day off to play a game. And they're developers, so it makes sense. I think I don't have a problem with it.
I actually think this is amazing because if you think about it, Japan's like work ethics are basically work until you die, right? Like these people are exhausted all the time. So trying to entice them and taking days off and be like, no, don't come in today. It's a bit of a help with their culture, right? Saying no, relax, take a day off, have some mental health, chill. Yeah. So I think this is great.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
I think it's incredibly smart. Mm-hmm. Because they know everyone's going to be playing it anyways. And on top of that, you're letting your entire team play more or less a competitor of yours. And you have to know what's going on in the market around you. And chances are they'll probably be inspired by it for future updates in Palworld. I think it's like, I see them as just thinking of it as an investment into their game by letting their developers play, a really popular game right now on the clock. I think that makes a lot of sense. Shags, you got any thoughts on that?
No, I share the sentiment. I think it's smart. If no other reason, from an internal standpoint, like you're just, you're saying, hey, I see your humanity too. Like we all need a day off. We all need to enjoy games. Like go do it. And like I think that also helps people when you do stuff like that. Like you'll never see that obviously in like a normal 9 to 5, but in that industry on big releases like this, it does help. It does inspire people, like you said, to look at a game in a different way. Like, oh, hey, what could I take from this game and maybe implement a system in what we're doing or in future games? It does help people decompress and think in different ways. So, props to them for doing it. It's really cool.
Well, the game has launched and it's been a huge success, but not everybody is happy with what's going on with Monster Hunter Wilds, as the reviews right now are currently mixed over on Steam. You can see if you just a quick scroll down of the thumbs up versus thumbs down, lots of thumbs down. And a lot of it has to do with frame rate and performance and PC optimization. That's the big thing you see all over here. It says the game is absolutely amazing, but it has the worst optimization I've ever seen. So, I'm sure that'll be corrected pretty quickly, I would imagine, if they haven't made a statement about that yet. Blabs, can you see if there's a statement about this from Capcom?
Yep.
About that? I appreciate that. But yes, a lot of this game is absolutely amazing, but there's always the but attached to this. Capcom, please auto-collect the bug reports you spent over 5 minutes generating. I beg thy, manually emailing off bug reports. So this guy, it's funny, went through and put it in there. Welcome to gaming in 2025. Horrendous performance for, quote, realistic graphics. Like, damn, I may own a powerhouse of a PC, but I prefer FPS over visual fidelity. And this is horrendous.
I don't see anything so far. Not even on their Twitter.
My grandma runs better than this game.
There was one comment that was like, I really love like the PC blowing hot air on me because it's like running so much.
Right. My air fryer is more optimized than this. That's hilarious. The game runs like absolute garbage. So, the one thing about that is that can be corrected and will be corrected. If they don't correct it by the weekend, then they're going to get flamed even worse than the fans are. Because the player count is going to go up. They always release these games on a Thursday with the idea of having that first little runway of a couple days, and then guess what? More people are going to pick it up over the weekend, and I could see this, this number going higher for sure over the weekend. So, do you guys have any plans on picking up the latest Monster Hunter?
Not quite yet. I just have so many I have other games that I'm playing and I don't have enough time to play them. So I'll wait till I can beat a couple, but I will play this.
And considering it's poorly optimized, like I don't have like the highest gaming PC right now either. So like it wouldn't do very well. Like I had to wait for a while to be able to play Path of Exile 2 while streaming because like Path of Exile would just crash all my streams. And then they put a patch out that fixed it for me because I guess my PC is just not optimized for it. But I'm not going to get something that's going to be even worse.
I think that makes sense. It's like when Crysis, remember when Crysis was released like 15 years ago, and it was like, look at the visual graphics, and nobody could run it.
This will be a console game for me anyway. I'll probably put it on my PS5 just because, these games are always optimized for consoles just because it's easier to do that with their hardware. Yep. And it'll look just as good. Like I love my PC, but I'm not like one of those people like, oh my God, if it's not a PC, I'm out of here. Console's fine for this.
Right. Well, you can see once again, the reviews for this with 24,000 reviews has 42% right now. That's yikes, a little yikes right there. But there are 865,000. That's a major metropolitan city playing this game. Yeah. 865,000 people playing it.
Yeah.
And that's just on Steam.
Just on Steam. Correct. Yikes. But good for Capcom. I remember back in the day when 1 million games sold was good. I was talking to somebody about this actually the other day that, in the 90s, if you sold 1 million copies of a game, you'd get a collector's edition or like some sort of re-release for, Nintendo did that. This game was 1 million seller. And now when a game sells 1 million and it's a AAA game, it's a massive failure. Right? You have to sell 3, 4, 5 million copies of a game because these budgets are so stupid. So just kind of how times have changed.
Yeah.
So any closing thoughts on Monster Hunter Wilds insane release?
Fix your optimization. The end.
Yeah.
I promise they're going to do that, Blabs. I promise.
Update your graphics drivers, losers. I'm just kidding.
Idiots. All right.
I'm the problem.